We have with us today Mr. Ravikesh Singh, COO, EPC, and joining him on stage is also going to be Mr. Pawan Agarwal, CEO, Waaree Forever, the group's independent power producer business. Ravikesh, ladies and gentlemen, brings about 20 years of deep expertise in renewable energy execution. Prior to Waaree, he held senior leadership roles, including Vice President at CleanMax Solar and Assistant Vice President EPC at Cable Corporation of India. At Waaree, he has been instrumental in scaling the company's EPC operations to deliver world-class renewable energy projects across India. His excellence in the field has been recognized with the prestigious COO of the Year at the Solar Assets Management Excellence Award. Ravikesh will now take us through the Waaree's EPC capabilities spanning renewables, transmission and transformer solutions. Joining him on stage, as I mentioned before, is also going to be Pawan. Pawan is a rare combination of financial acumen and renewable energy expertise. He holds a CFA degree from the US, an MBA from FMS Delhi, and is both a chartered accountant and a cost and works accountant. Before joining Waaree, ladies and gentlemen, he served as a Chief Financial Officer at Azure Power from 2019 to up to 2024, and as a Group President and Deputy Head at Yes Bank, where he led renewable energy financing at scale. He's also been honored with the Champion of Change Award by the Honorable Power Minister, Shri R.K. Singh, for his contribution to India's energy sector. He'll now share his vision and strategy for Waaree's renewable power generation and infra business. Without further ado, can I invite both of them on stage? Over to you.
Jai Jinendra and good evening, everyone. Once again, a big thank you for joining us today. I want to take, since inceptions of Waaree from year 2007, primarily we were known as a module manufacturing company. Going forward, in year 2011, we came with the clear thought of that, why not we should become into the end-to-end solution provider, that is right from concept to commissioning and post-commissioning, the asset management too. Look at the number, this 2012. That shows the efforts we have put in our 1.5 decade of EPC journey, wherein, we have started our EPC with the kilowatt scales, 10 megawatt scales, and after 1.5 decade, we are at this scale where this 2012 reveals that what the efforts we have put in. That is the India's single largest capacity-wise at a single location project that what we are executing. Again, I am saying this is not the easy journey what we have came through. We are not just a contractor, basically. We are your bankable partner. This 2012 reveals we have the customer first approach. With this, we have started with 6.5 with this particular customer who has given us this 2 gigawatt of capacity for the EPC. We have started with 6.5 megawatt. Then he have given us another chance to having a 220 kV transmission line and substations and a 78 megawatt of the capacity. After completion of this project, then again he have awarded us with the 400 kV substations, power evacuation system and 52 megawatt of capacity of the project. After commissioning of this project, we have grabbed this 2 gigawatt of the project. So the kind of solutions that we are providing, it's plug and play kind of a solutions, because we are, as I said, we are having a concept to commissioning approach. So in that way, basically in any of the solar projects, there are a challenge of land, getting a grid connectivity, and securing in-time statutory approvals that are the big challenge in the present scenario also. So in that way, we are providing a plug and play solutions We are also having IPP solutions now also. We are diversifying ourselves very, recently we have acquired one of the company that known as Associate Power Structures Limited, who they are primarily into the transmission and substation services, having a great footprint in APSL for transmission and substations system. We are covering the entire ecosystem of the EPC. So in that way, we are providing plug and play kind of solutions. So, yeah. Again, in EPC, procurement, always a procurement is a spinal cord for it. Any project got failed if the spinal cord is not strong enough. And if you see the entire ecosystem, we are covering most of the, 60% of the capex of the solar projects we are having in-house. The inverters, we have very recently coming up with the inverter manufacturing facilities. We have recently acquired one transformer company. Now it is known as Waaree Transpower, wherein we are having with the in-house transformer manufacturing. That is, we are coming up with the 17.6 MVA, 25 MVA, and we are further scaling up to the EHB class transformers from 220 kV to 400 kV class. Very soon, I guess within two years of down the line, we will come up with the 400 kV class power transformers also. Again, Shyam and Ankit has told on battery storage system. So covering all these, we are having a unique proposition in EPC vertical. So in that way, we are different from other EPC company. I would like to invite my colleagues, as I said, procurement is the spinal cord of any EPC company. I would like to my CPO on board, Mr. Mayur Mehta, and our CFO, Mr. Manmohan. Please come on the dais. Moving on to the next slide. These are the murky clientele. This is a very small list we are showing here, but we have a very long list of murky clientele. As I said earlier, the kind of solutions that we are providing, and we are reducing the IDCs for our developers. We have the solutions for which we are known of it, that right from concept to the commissioning, and for that we are getting back-to-back orders from the repetitive clients, and that shows our customer-first approach. What are the services that we are providing actually? With this, I would like to invite Ashish, our technical services head. As I said earlier, right from the concept to the commissioning and then asset management. So Ashish will take through what kind of asset management services that we are providing.
Thank you, Ravikesh ji. It is my pleasure to introduce Waaree's technical services. At technical services, our vision is very simple. We want to maximize the performance and longevity of the renewable energy assets while delivering on trust and confidence of asset owners, developers, and investors. At Waaree, under technical services, we are building capabilities across operations and maintenance, asset management, module, inverter, transformer, best serviceability, fleet service teams, diagnostics, and predictive maintenance. As I said, the idea is not just to maintain asset, but to protect and enhance investor returns. Thank you, and back to Ravikesh.
Well, these are some glimpses of the projects that we are executing. I just would like to your attention on middle of the one project that is a different kind of project. It is a IRES, integrated renewable energy system where we are a part of a solar system there. One solar system that we are doing, solar project we are doing. Pump storage done by the developers itself, and wind is doing by someone else. So we are part of this IREC. That is also a state, one kind of project in India is happening. You know, any EPC company survivals matters on the numbers. If you see the CAGR, I would like to your attention on the CAGR from the last 3 years. If you see that, what kind of numbers we are achieving, and obviously year on year, that shows how much bankable we are. So that is the shows our strength again. Well, now onwards, we will not be the EPC company. And I really mean it. We are the energy transition service provider company. And mind it, when I'm saying that energy transition service provider company, it means we cover the entire renewable energy ecosystem. If I say, I think previous speakers have also informed that how much the, trillion watt hours and how much the expansion is going on in renewable energy. In that way, we are not only the solar EPC company, but yes, we are now the energy transition service provider company, wherein we are taking up all the battery storage projects. We are coming up with the wind projects also. Obviously, we are a pioneer in solar projects also. So in that way, we are having a very different stand in EPC vertical. So thank you very much. This is all from our side.
I'll continue this journey and talk about another very important piece of Waaree's 2.0 puzzle, and that is group's newly launched renewable infrastructure business. At Waaree, we are not building a typical IPP. We are executing a highly strategic, asset-light, high capital velocity maneuver that perfectly complements our group's manufacturing core. Here, IPP is not about diversification. It is about value capture, about margin protection. Maybe an excellent way of capturing value when we talk about vertical integration. All of us know the huge opportunity Indian RE space offers to all of us. All the speakers have talked about it. So I'll be very brief on this. We are talking about 500 gigawatt of RE by 2030. We are talking about another 5 to 8 gigawatt of capacity, which is round the clock RE capacity being asked only for data center. Even if you take 30% penetration in EV, we need another 15-20 gigawatt of RE. Even a small 5 MMT, just beginning of green hydrogen mission, we are talking about more than 100 gigawatt of RE. So the opportunity is massive. And what is most beautiful of this for Waaree is the entire ecosystem is moving towards complex projects, hybrid projects, projects with storage. And wherever there is a complexity, Waaree thrives. Another very important piece of this entire puzzle is the amount of capital that is chasing this sector. IPP projects have been consistently attracting huge amount of global infrastructure funds as well as sovereign wealth funds, which are long-term and low cost. It is important to see what is that there in this project that you see so much of capital flowing in. It provides attractive yields, better than traditional infrastructure projects. It is subject to much lesser risk because typically these have very long-term PPAs, and there is a lot of regulatory framework which gives a lot of certainty to this. The cash flows are very, very stable. The operating costs are low, the life of the asset is long, and therefore there is fairly high degree of predictability of cash flows. The policy and ESG headwinds, tailwinds are also supporting this sector, and there is a lot of push factor also, which is forcing large pool of capital to prioritize this sector as their investment options. This is scalable. This can provide growth. The amount of project pipeline we see, given the opportunities, also gives a lot of incentive and interest for these capital to chase these projects. And above all, this provides a brilliant opportunity for diversification. These projects are largely insulated from other sector-specific issues, from geopolitical issues, from other macroeconomic issues. So all these pillars act as a magnet, a strong magnet which pulls global capital, which becomes one of the very strong enabler, the kind of growth we are talking about in this sector. Now, this is, okay, I'll come to this slide little later. Let me talk about this one. We are executing. And that is what Waaree is known for. The entire plan of renewable infrastructure project or a Waaree style IPP that we talk internally. Here we have already started executing at a massive size and scale in a very smart manner. We have more than 2 gigawatt of offtake secured for us. We have another 1.5 gigawatt of pipeline in each utility and C&I segment. And look at the customer. We have data centers, we have green hydrogen, we have GUNL, we have SECI. So kind of projects and kind of optics we are talking about, and also across technologies. We are not only doing solar. We have solar, we have BESS, we have solar plus BESS, we have wind, we have hybrid. So we are trying to create bouquet of projects for entire value chain which can attract a lot of capital. And even before we could have put in any substantial amount of capital, we are getting a lot of interest from investors who are willing to fund this project. So I would like to now summarize the way we are looking at IPP business or renewable energy infrastructure business in Waaree. Our plan is to restrict our investment into long lead, heavy lifting items where the investment is relatively minuscule. So we continue to focus on land, connectivity, PPA, and other project development related activities. And major part of the construction, we plan to be funded directly from the investors. So at each project level, we have seen interest from a lot of leading infrastructure and long-term funds which are willing to do the funding even during the construction stage. So idea is that this IPP will continue to provide very stable business for the group, whether it is module, whether it is electrolyzer, whether it is battery, whether it is inverter. So besides providing a predictable offtake for all the manufacturing businesses, and of course also the EPC, this will also generate its own return by recycling its capital. So just to close this, close my presentation with numbers, even if you talk about a typical 1 gigawatt of solar plus battery project, it gives about 1.5 gigawatt of module business, which means close to 2,500 to 3,000 crore. It gives a 1,500 megawatt peak, 1.5 gigawatt peak of EPC business, again 1,000 to 1,250 crores in terms of order book. And even if you take a 4-hour battery storage, that is the minimum that we are talking about in the country as of now. So there we get about 2,200 to 2,700 crores of battery BESS business. So 1 gigawatt of IPP pipeline, wherein we are putting our capital, a very small of capital, primarily to get the development activities behind us, it can generate close to 5,000 to 6,000 crores of business for the entire Waaree ecosystem. So idea was to present that while IPP is considered to be a capital guzzling, capex heavy, debt heavy, investment heavy business and providing yield and annuity kind of return, we are looking at IPP as an opportunity by providing a platform wherein investors who are best suited to fund those IPP projects, whether it is infrastructure funds, sovereign wealth funds, who have low cost of capital, they want yield and long-term investment platform. How do we create a bouquet of projects to them? In the process, how do we secure our manufacturing engine? We are talking about 25 gigawatt of manufacturing engine. And as we know, manufacturing and EPC, they are by very nature, they are cyclical. And how do you maneuver that? One of the way to maneuver is you create your own demand anchor. And Waaree's IPP can provide that base load, the base demand, which gives a revenue certainty, which gives margin protection, and in the process that also create higher value, both at the level of group as a whole, also at the level of IPP. Thank you.